Hello my darling, and welcome to a video where I create a shrine to Zeus, the Greek god of the sky, thunder, lightning, law, order, and kingship. While I craft this shrine, I want to share some of the myths and archetypes represented by this god. Let's do some magical crafting. Each month, I create a new shrine and research a new deity to learn more about them, their roles and sacred symbols. As I craft the shrine, I'll share with you what I learned about the deity, and when the shrine is complete, I'll be offering it in my shop so that a devotee of the god can own and display it on their altar or in their home. As I'm crafting this shrine to Zeus, I'll be adding colors and symbols to represent him. For this shrine, I'm using deep blue and gray to represent a stormy sky as a background, with lighter accents symbolizing the clouds where Mount Olympus rises above the mortal world. The shrine also features silver eagle motifs along the sides, representing his sacred bird and messenger. The center back panel has a mountain design, symbolizing Mount Olympus, his divine home. Tiny silver thunderbolts hang from silver chains above Zeus's head, acknowledging his role as a weather god and the god of storms. And for the centerpiece statue, Zeus is portrayed in his majestic, mature form, with a lightning bolt in one hand and a staff topped with an eagle in the other, conveying his role as a divine ruler and lawgiver. Zeus stands as the supreme deity of the Greek pantheon, the king of the gods who rules from Mount Olympus. He is the son of the Titans Kronos and Rhea, and his birth story alone tells you so much about themes of succession and overcoming tyranny. His father Kronos feared a prophecy that his children would overthrow him, just as he had overthrown his own father Uranus. So he did something pretty horrific. He swallowed each of his children at birth. But Rhea was determined to save her youngest son, and so she tricked Kronos by giving him a stone wrapped in swaddling clothes to swallow instead, while she hid the infant Zeus in a cave on Crete. Depending on which version of the myths you hear, Zeus was raised by the she-goat Amalthea, whose broken horn became the cornucopia or horn of plenty. In other versions, he was raised by nymphs or the Curetes, who would clash their weapons to mask the cries of the infant god. When Zeus reached maturity, he forced his father to regurgitate his siblings, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. Together they waged the decade-long Titanomachy, eventually overthrowing the Titans and establishing the Olympian order with Zeus as their king. Throughout Greek mythology, Zeus functions as the ultimate authority figure. His permission is required for major divine interventions, and his power is needed to grant significant boons. You see this pattern over and over, where both gods and goddesses have to approach Zeus to request permission or assistance before undertaking major actions. This really shows us how the Greeks understood a proper hierarchy and the importance of respecting established authority even among divine beings. When Hera wanted to punish the Trojans during the Trojan War, she first had to seduce and distract Zeus, because she knew he wouldn't permit her direct interference otherwise. When Athena wished to help Odysseus return home, she pleaded with her father at the divine council, reminding him of Odysseus's many sacrifices. Apollo needed Zeus's permission to purify Orestes of matricide, and even Poseidon's persecution of Odysseus occurred while Zeus was distracted, which shows that other deities recognized his ultimate authority over mortal affairs. Perhaps most famously, Demeter's grief over the abduction of Persephone caused worldwide famine, yet even she, a powerful Olympian herself, ultimately needed Zeus's intervention to negotiate her daughter's partial return from the underworld. These interactions show us that while other gods possess significant powers in their own domains, Zeus maintained final authority over matters affecting cosmic order. Mortals, too, would petition Zeus for boons, often through elaborate sacrifices and prayers. He was believed to directly influence human affairs. Granting strength to warriors, he favored sending omens to guide important decisions or bestowing prosperity on pious individuals and communities. The concept of Zeus as the ultimate grantor of boons reinforced proper religious hierarchy and emphasized the importance of maintaining the right relationship with divine power. Zeus's role as a father extended far beyond just biological paternity. As father of the gods and humans alike, Zeus Pater, from which we get the Roman Jupiter, he embodied the paternal authority that structured ancient Greek society. In Greek culture, the father, or Kyrios, was the legal head of the household, the oikos, with a near absolute authority over its members. He managed family property, arranged marriages for his daughters, oversaw religious observances, and represented the family in public and legal matters. A father's authority was considerable, though not unlimited. It was constrained by societal customs, religious obligations, and practical considerations. Just as Zeus balanced justice with mercy in his cosmic governance, Greek fathers were expected to exercise restraint in their authority, treating dependents with appropriate care while maintaining necessary discipline. Zeus's complex relationship with his divine children, sometimes stern, sometimes affectionate, always concerned with maintaining cosmic order, reflected the ideal paternal role in Greek society. He punishes when necessary, but also shows pride in his children's accomplishments, particularly when they uphold divine order. The relationship between Zeus and Athena, his favorite daughter born from his own head, is a perfect example of the ideal father-daughter bond in Greek imagination. He trusts her judgment, grants her special privileges, and takes pride in her wisdom. Similarly, his relationship with Apollo shows the proper development of a son who embodies many of his father's qualities while establishing his own divine domain. Even his more troubled relationships, like that with Ares, demonstrates paternal correction of a son whose behavior threatens cosmic harmony. The symbols associated with Zeus reflect his diverse powers. The lightning bolt or thunderbolt represents his dominion over the sky and his tremendous destructive potential. The oak tree, which attracts lightning more than other trees due to its height and its structure, was considered sacred to him. Zeus's oracular voice was said to speak through the rustling of oak leaves at Dodona, his oldest oracle. The bull also became associated with him, representing his strength and virility, and sometimes serving as his disguise in myth. While you might think of Zeus primarily as a sky god, hurler of thunderbolts and bringer of storms, his role was far more comprehensive in Greek religion. As Zeus Horkios, he oversaw oaths and contracts. As Zeus Xenios, he protected the sacred bond between host and guest. As Zeus Tisios, he guarded the household and its possessions. As Zeus Soter, he acted as a savior in times of crisis. These varied epithets show you how Zeus' authority extended into nearly every aspect of Greek life, from international diplomacy to household management. Zeus's role as a divine king mirrored and legitimized human kingship, providing a cosmic model for righteous rule. Unlike his father Kronos or grandfather Uranus, Zeus governed through law rather than tyranny. He established and maintained cosmic order, nomos, ensuring each deity knew their proper domain and responsibilities. His justice could be swift and severe against those who violated divine law. You can see this in the punishments of Prometheus, Sisyphus, and others. But he was also capable of mercy and forgiveness when properly appeased. Zeus's many love affairs, while often portrayed in modern times simply as evidence of divine promiscuity, had deeper significance in ancient understanding. His unions with goddesses, nymphs, and mortal women established divine bloodlines, created mediating figures between humans and gods like Hercules, and explained the founding of important dynasties and cities. The mythology around Zeus is vast, but certain stories particularly illuminate his character. His seduction of Semele, who asked to see him in his true divine form and was consequently destroyed by his radiance, speaks to the dangerous gap between mortal and divine reality. His rescue of their unborn son Dionysus, sewing him into his thigh to complete gestation, shows his capacity for nurturing life as well as destroying it. The binding of Prometheus, for giving fire to humanity, followed eventually by Hercules freeing the Titan with Zeus's consent, illustrates his complex relationship with human progress, resistant to rapid change, yet ultimately accepting of humanity's advancement. The Oracle of Zeus at Dodona in northwestern Greece was among the oldest and most revered oracular sites in the ancient world. Here, priests and priestesses interpreted the rustling of oak leaves, the flights of doves, and the ringing of bronze cauldrons as Zeus's divine voice providing guidance. Worship of Zeus centered around several major sanctuaries, most famously the Great Temple at Olympia, site of the Olympic Games. These athletic competitions were held in his honor every 4 years, creating a pan-Hellenistic festival that temporarily suspended conflicts between city-states. The massive statue of Zeus at Olympia was considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Made of ivory and gold over a wooden frame, it portrayed Zeus enthroned, holding a figure of victory, Nike, in his right hand and a scepter topped with an eagle in his left. Sacrifices to Zeus typically involved white animals, especially bulls, whose strength matched his own. The thigh bones wrapped in fat were burned as Zeus's portion, while the meat was shared among worshippers, creating community through shared sacred meals. Libations of wine, honey, and water were also common offerings. During times of drought, rituals dedicated to Zeus Omberios, rainy Zeus, or Zeus Haitos, Zeus of the rains, would be performed, acknowledging his control over life-giving precipitation. What I find most compelling about Zeus is how he represents the evolution of divine kingship from tyranny to governance through law. Unlike earlier creator or sky gods who ruled through raw power, Zeus establishes systems and principles, delegates authority, though always maintaining ultimate oversight, and operates through reason as well as might. He embodies the Greek ideal of measured strength, power that is vast but controlled, directed by intelligence and justice rather than caprice. For those drawn to work with Zeus today, he offers guidance on rightful leadership, maintaining personal sovereignty, establishing proper boundaries, and exercising power with justice and discernment. His energy supports you if you're seeking to create order from chaos, establish sustainable systems, make and keep meaningful commitments, or connect with paternal archetypal energy. Appropriate offerings to Zeus might include olive oil, wine, honey, wheat, oak leaves, and foods associated with abundance. creating or renewing important promises under his auspices, developing personal codes of ethics, or seeking his guidance during leadership challenges honors his continued relevance in our lives. In our modern world, where authority is often questioned and traditional structures are challenged, Zeus reminds us of the value in just governance, whether of a household, a community, or a nation. He teaches us that true leadership combines strength with wisdom, upholds necessary boundaries and laws, yet remains flexible enough to evolve with changing circumstances. His thunderbolt reminds us that sometimes dramatic, sudden change is necessary to restore balance when systems become corrupt or stagnant. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Zeus. If you're interested in adding this shrine to your sacred space, you'll find it available in my shop. Until next time, may you find the perfect balance of power and wisdom, justice and mercy that Zeus has embodied for thousands of years.